Okay, it's day 3 already, another week almost over. We've had 2 classics, we've had all sorts of exciting things going on this week, and there's more to come today. We've got 2 more classics today. We're going all the way over the oceans and stuff to Australia and America and places for the Kentucky Derby, and you haven't got to put up with my awful accent this year because Mike's back. And we've got the Australian Guineas at Randwick as well, and that cues me nicely to say good evening to Doug and Stu. How are you both doing?
Evening.
Are you
Doing well.
good? Are you calling the Australian races again this week, Doug?
I don't know if I am. I think I divvied it up and didn't even think about it. No, it doesn't matter. It's all good. It'd be nice to be able to sit back and watch the Australian races and not know the result.
Okay.
Have you got one in that Randwick Guinness Duck?
No.
And your great assignment for today, Stu, is another potential roller coaster helicopter helter skelter ride around a point to point course built by Gray. Are you have you got your sickness tablets just in case?
I have. I am actually looking forward to it. I'm not even sure where it is, to be honest with you. So
no, has he got a castle in the name or something? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Barbary Castle.
That's it. I wonder if he's actually put a castle in it.
Yeah, no, I did see that. Is that on the Barbary coast?
Oh, no idea where it is, to be honest. It's I'm not a great follower of point to point, so I don't know a great deal about where these places are. So
I'm sure someone in the stream will tell us.
I'm sure they will. And if there's a castle, I hope you get a good view of it as you're flying over it. And
I will point it out.
Yes, we expected with a bit of research for when you're having the fly around, you can be giving us a history of Barbary Castle or Barbary Castle Racecourse or something, rather than just the trees or something. And now
it's a fault.
Is it?
I think it is a fault. It's Martin's fault.
Right, okay.
Not my fault, your fault.
Of course, you know what you'll do now is you'll go and do all that background research, and then the race will just start straight away, and you won't get a chance to say.
Yeah, there'll be nothing. No, I'll find. I think it's a 3-miler. I'll find time.
All right, okay. Right, so let's have a look at the first of today's 2 biggies. Then, so shall we go over old Kentucky way and see what we make of the Kentucky Derby?
It's the Yum Brands Kentucky Derby. What's that then? Yum Brands.
I don't know. It sounds like some sort of Chinese sort of like noodles factory, doesn't it? I don't know what it is. Is it?
Okay. So I assume Yum is the brand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably why it says Yum Brands. That's probably the clue.
Yeah, I reckon it's the Hong Kong-based company.
I thought it read like Yum Brands, the Kentucky Derby. So it's brands as in branding horses, like they like to do in America, don't they? Brand all their horses.
Well, they do. They do that in most places as well. They have a tattoo under their lip in Britain, and I think they get a sort of tattoo in Australia as well, don't they, Doug?
Yeah, the same. Don't they get branded here as well?
Same thing, a hot iron
If it's
job.
a brand or I'm not sure if it's how they do it now.
No, I think it's a tattoo
got
thing.
An identification mark.
It's a tattoo thing now. If you look, I'll see if I can put the picture in to coincide with this. But one of the Australian races last week, I think you could see the horse's identification mark. It wasn't put in a very good place because you could see it too well. I think in Britain they still do it in the horse's mouth. I think under the lip or something. It's like a tattoo type thing.
I never knew that.
But anywye.
They can have Ink Master for horses.
Yeah. No, don't start up with the next thing now. We'll have people saying, I want yellow jodhpurs and I'll have green and purple striped top with red sleeves, and can I have my horse blue with yellow stripes, please?
Zebra.
Anyway, Yum Brands Kentucky Derby then, Louisville. So what do we like to look of in that? There's some pretty ropey looking form on some of these to say this is supposed to be a big race. There's only two horses that have won in it, both unbeaten of course, but there's some right sort of dodgy looking form in there, so some people might pick up some decent prize money for second, third and fourth and stuff. What do you like to look of?
Who's going to go first? Sorry, Doug, you go.
No, you go for it.
Okay. Looking at this one. To be honest with you, like you say, with the form and everything, it's actually quite hard. I mean, you'd have to look at the 2 unbeaten horses, just obviously both been out. One's Protagonist for Steve Rahn, and obviously Spartan for the champion trainer. Tricky one. No, I think Right on Time for Hands Joan, bit of an outsider, probably going to be each way value on that one. But his horses have come on really well. I know it was a bit unfortunate at the beginning of last season, but he's got some good horses. He's obviously got a good breed line there. So no, I'm going to go for him.
Yeah,
Surprise.
didn't he have a Group 1 winner last week? Or the week before or something? That's pretty good. That sort of like went under the radar a bit. I'm sure he had a big win.
No, I think he did, and he's had some really good. I think he's had a few tight places with some of the better trainers as well.
And I'm going to go with Spartan because I think if Paul Rhodes has specifically bred this horse with a Kentucky Derby, he says a lot. That's already the highest rated horse in the race, so
yeah,
I'm playing safe.
I was going to say exactly the same thing there, Doug. I think Spartan will win if it gets a clear run, because don't forget this is the track that it's one of those tight American tracks, and I think in the last few years we've had horses that we expected to win it, they got boxed in and didn't get out and stuff, so that's always going to be a worry. So nobody has declared their horse to be a front runner, I don't think. But if one of those horses is one that is a front runner that can stay in the lead all the way, it could well be a pillar to post victory for somebody, and that would be probably the thing that would put me off Stephen Rand's horse, because he's suggesting that it probably needs a little bit further, so it means it's probably going to be behind early on, and it's going to have to get a bit of a lucky split. So we will see what will happen with that. So let's scoot across to the land of the oyster and the Randwick Guineas. It's pretty big deal, this in Australia, is it, Doug?
Well, it's in New South Wales, and it's one of the bigger 3-year-old races in the country, so over the mile, which are a classic sort of distance. I just had a quick look beforehand on my friend Wikipedia. It was first held in 1935, and it's nowhere near the oldest race going around Australia. So from 1935 to 2005 it was known as the Canterbury Guineas, and then from 2006 to present day it's been known as the Randwick Guineas. Yeah, it's a few good horses that have won it. Weekend Hustler in 2008 was a very handy horse. Then we go down to 1996 Octagonal, which was one of our champions. He was a stallion, and he went on to start and bred some very good horses. One of his sons, Lonhro, almost did exactly the same thing as he did on the track. And then outside of that, just a few horses here and there. But probably 1957 Todman, another classic champion racehorse back in the day, back in the golden era of Australian racing in the 50s and 60s. Yeah, so that's where it's coming from, and got prized. It's a $1 million race now in Australia, I think, in the game. It's at 800,000, but doesn't matter. So I've had a look through the field here, and 3-year-old. I'm going to say it's only really 2 horses that have won. I'm going to go with Thunderspark again with Silhouette.
Good choice. So what's the course like at Randwick? Is it a sharp bend and everything on that track? Or
no, it's fairly tight compared to your English tracks. Your big English tracks. It's fairly tight. It's not tight like an American track. So it's in between.
Like the Australians, in between the British and the Americans. Well, I'm going to just briefly looking through it. I mean, I haven't really looked at it previously. I'll go for Signal Road Girl for Jim Murray. According to the trainer, and it was second at Randwick last week, and it came second to my tip for the Guineas. You Also Thrilling, 1,000 guineas, and it wasn't that far out. I mean, yeah, You Also Thrilling did pull away from it, but I fancy it will be up front, and it may well just get out there. So I think Jim may well pick up one this week.
Yeah, it's a good observation, because Jim's definitely dodged bigger races looking for a win here, I reckon.
Yeah, no, he has, I think. Like I said, I mean, it may well be his second string Guineas horse and chose to go this route, but no, I think, obviously it ran well at Randwick last week, so no reason why it shouldn't come back this week. The ground's perfect for it. It likes firm ground, so I'm going to go for that one. Martin, you?
Well, to be honest, they were the two that you two have mentioned already were two of the ones that I was looking at. But I've also got a sneaky little feeling for Stephen Rand's Shotgun, because I maybe have got this wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Doug said to me last week that 7 furlong horses would do well in mile races in Australia.
That's correct.
Which is the reason...
If you're playing an English game, a 7 furlong horse will do well on a mile on the Australian tracks.
Right, well, that is the reason why I've put My Ocean Colour Scene in, because My Ocean Colour Scene is my 7 furlongs, and it came third in one of the classic trials last week. front running, and it only just got caught. I was tempted to put it in the Guineas, and then I remembered what Doug said, so I rerouted it to this one instead, on the outside possibility that I might get myself up there in the money in the
good luck with that one.
in a Group 1. But I also didn't expect there to be quite so many good horses in this, because I thought they'd all two in the 2,000 Guineas and go for that price. So I'm looking for fifth. I think it's probably the best I can hope for. But that, strangely for me, that horse of mine is most of mine are hanging around the back horses, sort of hold up horses. This one likes to go off, and it went off in the lead last week, and they nearly didn't get it. So if it goes off in the lead, it could set it up for someone else.
I think you're being a bit bullish about this horse.
I think it's my best chance of winning a Group 1 on the flat that I've had so far. Having said that, I don't really think it'll win, but I think it's the best chance I've got of a Group 1 on the flat so far.
Well, I sort of disagree with you with the strength of this race. I've gone with Thunderspark's horse, but he prefers 7 furlong, and it should get the mile here. You look at Paul Rhodes' horse, with this is his 10 furlongs. He's dropped it back 2 furlong into the mile. So, he's it's not the preferred horse he'd have running here. Josh's horse would probably be another interesting runner, but still it's a 3rd and a 5th, but that'll be strong there. Shotgun Steve Ram's horse, but I think he rushed his stable coming back for this season. Gray's horse has been around the money. Darren Thompson's, it doesn't look like his top horse. Jim Murray's obviously placed this horse for this race. And, this could be another race where Hands was pick up as well. So his horse getting out in front. So I wouldn't say I don't think it's as strong as the other classic Monmouth races earlier in there. So I reckon it's a pretty open race.
Yeah, it looks like an open race. Probably still be too strong for miles, though. But yeah, should be good. It'll be interesting end to the week. So there we go then. That's another week sort of talked about. We've got one more day's racing to go, which we'll get over with and have in a minute. You got any plans for the rest of the week?
Not much. I'm trying to think now. Fixing computers probably. But no, nothing planned. Stay in the warm.
Okay, and what about you, Doug? Are you scraping paint off the pavement, or are you ramming vibrators down fish?
I'll be scraping paint off the pavement, and I'll be climbing the ladder and doing the old George Formby, going up the ladder and just touching up the paintwork.
Cleaning
the
windows.
Happy, and, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, there's big windows there. Do you clean them yourself, Doug, or do you get a window cleaner?
I actually do them myself. So
fair play. Inside and out, I hope.
No, just
outside.
Just outside. Get some grotty people around my way. So the odd spitter.
Oh, stop.
Right, I think at that point we better leave it there again, don't we, for another week. Good talking to you both, chaps, and I'll speak to you all again. I'll speak to you both again next week.
Perfect. Bye.
See ya.